Welcome back to the most interesting magazine show on the continent. We've spoken about the prodigal son of Mamelodi Sundowns. We've spoken a little bit about Group A. Now we're going to continue the conversation with SC. SC, wow. What did you think about the draw of the Confederation Cup and the Champions League?
Yeah, look, I think this has been one of the best draws that we've seen. I think we've seen teams that have been pitted against one another so many times. We've seen teams that have lifted this trophy so many times. We're talking about the northern teams, 7 of them in this CAF Interclub continental space. So when you look at that, it really sends out a strong and a stern message to say they're not here to play. And oh, look, it's evident that they're doing well in their own leagues. You look at the Tanzanian guys as well, 4 teams in there. So roughly, it's really pretty much a balanced schedule, you know.
So nice to see you. I've been speaking to Likoko about the CAF Champions League, and I'm going to talk to you first of all about Group A. We have to get straight into it. Group A has a lot of amazing teams. Pyramids are going to be playing. RS Berkane is a repeat of the Super Cup final. Yeah,
look, and I told you long before when this game started, the Super Cup, just to touch on it, you know, last week we didn't even talk about it when I told you that Pyramids would win this match, and they went on to go win the match. And ideally, this is a different type of breed, but I think Pyramids has been, you know, getting into momentum, irrespective of who they've lost and who they've brought in, just the same as RS Berkane, you know.
I mean, they've only lost Ibrahim Adel, who moved to the UAE Pro League, and RS Berkane on their side, you know, they lost Yusuf Dayo, who's been there for
instrumental player.
Instrumental player. Do you think it's going to affect them this season?
Look, ideally when you lose your star players, there's a certain element that's taken away from your team. But of course, when you regenerate the team and also you bring in a new player or new players, they automatically are going to gel with the team at some point, you know, and then the team will gel together. I don't see them really struggling that much in terms of just one player, to point reference, just one player. But when you look at the group itself, you know, it's quite a tricky group. We have 2 teams that we could probably look at them and say they wouldn't make the knockout rounds, you know, from a conversation point of view, but they didn't get here by fluke as well. Power Dynamos as well as Rivers United, you know. I'm sure you'd be smiling.
Shout out to Finidi George. Shout out to Finidi George. Yeah. I'm sure he's excited.
It's good to actually see a Nigerian team coming back to compete in this, you know, CAF conversation, you know, CAF
space. Yeah, I know Rivers United, the last time they were in the Champions League was 2023, and they got knocked out in the second round. So
it's not bad.
This group looks like it's going to be Pyramids FC, who are slowly becoming the Real Madrid of African club football.
Nah, that's overreaching.
I knew you would say that. Pyramids FC and RS Berkane to go through for me in Group A. And for you?
Permutations are still early for me to make, to be honest with you. But to agree with you, based on what the 2 teams have done so far, I mean, 2 teams that played the final of this of the CAF Champions League interclub competitions, you know, the CAF Champions League and the Confederation as well. So definitely RS Berkane, Muichaban and Coach Jurcic to go through with this knockout stages.
Yes, RS Berkane have one of my favorite strikers in the whole world, Lam Louis, and Pyramids. We all know how I feel about the Ronaldo of Congo. Anyway, let's move on to Group B, because for me, this is the group of death. We're seeing so many amazing teams in Group B. Who are the 2 to go through for you in Group B?
I don't know if you're saying it's a group of death, and I think it's something that we've said off camera, you know, to say, when you look at Ahly, S5, JS Kabylie and Young Africans, 4 teams that are so good.
Yes.
You know, 4 teams.
Our Ahly haven't started the season so well, really.
Yeah, you look, I mean, the coaching changes that have happened, you know, you look at that alone, coming from the Club World Cup, not performing well, and also starting the league not so well as well. So when you look at that alone, it kind of like tells you.
Seems like the interim coach hasn't settled down.
I wouldn't call him an interim coach, to be honest with you. I think he is their coach, Jess, you know. I think he's going to do quite well. I'll actually usually start like this, to be honest with you. They might win 1-0 there, 1-0 there, but usually they don't start off guns blazing. They take it a bit slow. But for me, the team to look at in this group, for me, the dark horses of this CAF Champions League, JS Kabylie with Joseph Zimbabwe. What a team.
Yes, an amazing team.
What a team.
They have an incredible stadium. I know that there was a strong team from 2010, you know?
Yeah.
And GS Kabylie, you are right, can't be underestimated.
Look, they've gotten good players in, man. You look at the players they've stolen away, man, from a lot of teams and brought into their team. It ideally tells you that Joseph Zimbabwe knows what he wants to do with this. You mentioned the stadium. I love the fact that it's so compact, and the noise just becomes, the euphoria in the stadium just becomes a 12th man for them. So
they have won the CAF Champions League before, 2 times,
yes.
if I'm not mistaken, and
definitely.
3-time champions of the Confederation Cup.
So it's not a new team per se. So them coming back into this CAF Champions League conversation and tournament as well, it really tells you that the strides that they've taken into the league to get here in this position. Young Africans that we're not talking about so far.
Yes, Yanga is another team one has to look out for.
Remember, they've also done so well into the competition as well. So you look at the type of players also they have into the team. They've kept most of their players, you know, to be honest with you. They might have lost the coach, Patrick Mabedi, staying in the team to continue with what's happening.
This current younger team, do you think they're as good as the generation with Aziski and Fiston?
You know, it's a tricky question that you ask, but the talent alone individually has the capacity to reach those levels, you know, and for them to be in this position, they'd reached that level while they've lost Aziski in the middle of the season last season, you know, and hence they find themselves in this position. So it answers the question to say they've got the squad to do that.
Okay, Group C. Likoko obviously believes that Mamelodi Sundowns is going to go through in this group. And who's your second team to go through in this group, apart from Mamelodi Sundowns? We know they have to go through.
As I said, permutations for me are going to be so difficult when it comes to this stage at the moment. Because in this group, you've got a team that disappointed a certain team here in South Africa. You've got a team that is coming up from a coach that knows Mamelodi Sundowns very well, which is Rulani Mokoena at MC Alger. And this is a team that knows also how to play this competition. They've tasted the quarterfinals. They know what it is they want to do with this tournament. Okay. So ideally, you look at Mamelodi Sundowns and MC Alger, your conversation would be ideally them, but Al Hilal has a hand to pick up also here.
SC, hold that thought, because we're going to be back after this short break. We're going to be talking about the Confederation Cup, and I'm sure you want to know the players that make Adelani's African Diamonds this week. Stay tuned.